In 2040, somewhere beyond the Arctic Circle, a strange reflection appeared on the horizon. At first, explorers thought it was a mirage, a trick of light born from the cold. But as they approached, the horizon folded into itself, and the sky seemed to rest on a surface of perfect glass. It wasn't a building. It wasn't even a structure in the way we've known them. It was an idea made visible. For centuries, architecture has been about presence. Walls to divide, roofs to shelter, towers to claim a skyline. But here, in the most silent land on Earth, humanity decided to erase its own outline. They built a cabin not to stand against nature, but to vanish within it. A home that disappears into snow, wind, and light. A design that doesn't scream for attention, but listens, patiently, to the breath of the world. What happens when architecture stops trying to be seen and starts trying to be understood? This is not a fantasy. It's the first invisible home ever built, the Mirror Cabin of 2040. And it might just redefine what it means to live with the planet, instead of merely living on it. The Arctic, a place that does not forgive mistakes. Here, the air itself bites. The wind can sculpt a mountain or erase a footprint within seconds. Temperatures fall to -40, yet the horizon remains alive, breathing light, mist, and silence. There are no soft edges here, only the geometry of survival. For months, the sun never rises. Then suddenly it refuses to set. Light itself becomes a living thing, bending, scattering, glowing through ice crystals suspended in air. The snow is never just white, it's a mirror of the sky, pale blue at noon, gold at sunset, violet at night. Even darkness here has color, the green of auroras, the deep indigo of endless winter. In this world, the ground is frozen solid, permafrost older than time. Every structure built upon it must learn restraint, because heat is destruction. To live here, you can't fight the cold, you must negotiate with it. That is why architecture in the Arctic cannot be an act of defiance. It must be an act of listening. Walls that breathe, foundations that float, materials that respect the stillness of the land. The beauty of the Arctic isn't just what we see, it's what it teaches. That balance is survival, and silence is strength. They call it the skin of light, a living surface that reflects, breathes, and learns. Every panel of the Mirror Cabin is an adaptive lens, a fragment of sky captured in glass and metal. Each one can sense the sun, the wind, and the temperature of the snow beneath it. Together, they form a shell that behaves less like a wall and more like an organism. When the Arctic sun rises low on the horizon, the facade brightens to reflect heat away. When the storm comes, it darkens, trapping warmth inside. Invisible heating filaments run beneath the mirror, melting frost before it can take hold. A choreography between light and temperature, precision and instinct. On a microscopic level, the glass is never still. A self-cleaning nanolayer repels moisture and ice. Ultraviolet markings, invisible to us, warn birds away without breaking the illusion of purity. Each reflection is controlled, intentional, alive. This architecture doesn't resist the Arctic, it collaborates with it. The cabin reads the sky like a pulse, listening to the rhythm of wind and adjusting its form to stay in harmony. From a distance, it seems to disappear, but in truth, it's more present than anything around it. Because it has learned to move with the light, not against it. Inside the mirror cabin, silence has a different sound. It's not emptiness, it's precision. Every breath of warmth here is designed, not wasted. The Arctic gives nothing for free. Every degree of heat must be earned, stored, and shared wisely. That's why the cabin's heart is not made of fire, but of circulation. Beneath the floor, warm water flows through microtubes, powered by the faint hum of a geothermal pump. The walls are layered with aerogel insulation so light it feels like frozen smoke, yet strong enough to hold back the cold. Every window recycles heat from the air it exhales, a quiet dialogue between inside and outside. Outside, the storm may rage, but inside, warmth is steady, not from excess, but from balance. Solar panels draw power even from scattered Arctic light. Vertical wind turbines hum silently, turning wind into motion, motion into life. The water you drink comes from melted snow, filtered and purified in a closed loop. The air you breathe passes through sensors that adjust humidity and oxygen for comfort. The cabin listens to its occupants, learning their rhythm, when to breathe, when to rest. Here, energy is not consumed, it circulates. Light becomes heat, heat becomes motion, motion becomes stillness again. It's a perfect loop, a small ecosystem carved out of frost and intelligence. And in that stillness, surrounded by white infinity, you realize the miracle isn't survival, it's harmony. They said it couldn't be built. Not here, not on ground that melts when it's touched, not in a place where steel cracks from the cold and silence can crush concrete. But that's where the challenge began. The mirror cabin wasn't placed on the Arctic. It was suspended above it. Its foundation never pierces the permafrost. It floats, held by lightweight anchor piles designed to breathe with the earth rather than wound it. Every piece of the cabin was born far away, prefabricated under controlled light, then flown north in fragments. For 3 short weeks each year, when storms paused and daylight returned, a small team assembled the impossible. Mirror panels calibrated to micrometers, carbon fiber beams lighter than snow, insulation like frozen air. No heavy machinery, no concrete poured, only precision, silence, and time. Every screw, every joint had to account for contraction, expansion, vibration. A language of tolerance written in frost. Even the smallest mistake would echo through the structure when the temperature dropped. Yet, when the last panel was placed, something miraculous happened. The building didn't disturb the Arctic, it joined it. The reflection of sky and ice closed perfectly around the cabin, as if the land itself accepted it. This is the paradox of the invisible: to exist without leaving a mark, to build not by imposing, but by understanding. And in that frozen clarity, the line between engineering and art disappears, just like the cabin itself. Silence. Here, it isn't emptiness, it's understanding. The mirror cabin doesn't speak, it listens. It reflects the sky, the wind, and whoever stands before it, reminding us that beauty is not in what we create, but in how little we disturb. Inside, warmth feels sacred, a quiet pulse sustained by balance, not power. Every flicker of light, every breath of air, exists because the cabin has learned to live with the Arctic, not against it. When you step outside, it's gone. The house, the shape, even your reflection. Only the horizon remains, seamless and infinite. And in that moment, you understand, disappearing beautifully is also a way of belonging.